Hi, it's Tony Robbins. Welcome to BreakthroughInsiders.com, the place you can get the special scoop, the inside story on Breakthrough, and to really get a sense of what it is we're doing here, why we made this show, how we made it, some of the strategies to turn people's lives around, and most importantly, a place you can come each week and you can get some distinctions and strategies to change your own life, to take it to another level, or to really pay it forward and help some people you really care about. So thanks for tuning in. Just real quickly, let me tell you why we made this show. Number one reason, pain. How much of it is in the world right now? I mean, you look around and starting in 2008, the suffering that human beings go through got magnified around the world. It started with this tremendous economic challenge that's the most intense that the world has seen in about 80 years. And when you start with economic challenges, it doesn't start or stop there, I should say. It starts to bleed into relationships. And then we've got the assault that's happening to our environment. Most people are feeling so overwhelmed right now with things they feel they can't control that the mindset has shifted in our society. So many people today start thinking that the future is going to be worse than the past. And it doesn't have to be that way. And that's not bad being positive. We thought, let's make a show where we take people under extreme stress and show that their entire life could be changed in just 30 days. And we show a pathway of power of how to do that. I've been doing it for 33 years now. I've had that privilege to be the guy that kind of gets the call when the crisis starts. When the athlete's burning down on national television and you got to turn them around, boom, right now. And if you don't, everybody knows it. And when you do, you grow and build your reputation, which is how I've been able to have this opportunity at this stage of my life. You get the situation, I get the call when the kid or the adult is suicidal. And you got to turn them around right now. And I'm really proud to tell you, out of thousands of people I worked with over the years, and we've made many films and followed up years later, I've not lost one suicide. Doesn't mean I won't someday, but that same set of strategies are things that we use to help people create these lasting changes. The President of the United States calls and says, they may impeach me in the morning, what do I do? Those are the types of calls I've gotten over the years, and I've had the privilege now of working with literally 4 million people in live seminars from 100 countries. I had 50 million people get my books and tapes. But as I looked around in 2008 and I saw the pain growing, I thought, you know what? I might be able to reach 2 to 4 million people or more in a week in an hour of primetime television. It's not the same as a seminar where you're there day and night, but I thought it could open up things for people. So we created Breakthrough. So what is it? Well, I know you've had a breakthrough in your life where you're heading down a certain place and then you got stuck, where maybe you felt like you just couldn't change the people around you in your job. They felt like they were holding you back, or you met some kind of economic challenge that drove you crazy and it felt overwhelming. Or maybe it was an intimate relationship that drove you nuts. Or maybe you just found yourself in a place where your body had gotten so far gone that it felt like you couldn't turn it around, or just so much debt you couldn't turn it around. It's that place where we don't give up, but at some level unconsciously, we pretty much just feel stuck. And we all get there. What a breakthrough is that moment in time when it all changes. When suddenly what seemed to be impossible becomes possible, and it's not some positive thinking garbage, it's a trigger. You meet someone and they show you what's really real. Or you have a challenge so big that some part of you finally steps up and said, I'm going to turn this around. I'm not going to settle for this anymore. Or you read something, or you're inspired, or you get angry. Something becomes this catalyst that makes you take control of your life. You don't just talk about stuff. You take action, you really change your life, and you break through to another level. That's what this show is really about. Now, how do we make something like that exciting enough that they'll give you at 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights on primetime television on NBC? Well, you got to take people who are having extreme problems. So I said, let's not have people write in and want to volunteer to be on the show, because then you get everybody who wants to be on, primetime television for their own significance. Let's get other people to nominate people who they believe have gotten a raw deal. Good human beings that have found themselves in a place where life has seemingly crushed them, where they're experiencing a level of injustice or pain or suffering that no human being should have to go through, but we all do at different times of our life. And let's give those people a second chance. Let's show them how they can turn it all around in less than 30 days, and let's show the world how that can be done as well. So that's the conceit of the show. And so you say, well, how do you do it? Well, I'll give you 3 quick examples. Imagine you go to work on a typical day, you're totally in love with your husband or wife, and then you get the phone call no one ever wants to hear in their lifetime. Your wife is dead. She was killed in a random drive-by killing, and worse, if anything could be worse, your 7-year-old son was there and witnessed it. She had the foresight to push him aside, and she took the bullet. This is the experience of John Rodriguez, an amazing man. What do you do? What do you do when that kind of tragedy hits your life? Well, for John, he couldn't figure out what to do. And he found himself unable to work, a broken man, And his 7-year-old son become 9 2 years later, and his 12-year-old son, now 14, is trying to figure out how to support their father because they're living the Salvation Army, literally in a shelter. And John can't get himself out of bed. He gained 60, 70 pounds or more, and nothing seems to change. He's stuck. He needs a breakthrough. That's where we step in. And what moves us is seeing these young boys saying, come please help my father. We take him on a journey. How do we do it? I won't tell you the whole story, just 2 seconds. We take him on a journey to another place. We all got to get out of the environment that's holding us back to be triggered for something new. I take him to Fiji, and I get him to role reversal, where he takes back control, becomes the father in this relationship through some really intense activities. And then to lose that weight and get the discipline back, I turn him over to the care, or the gentle care of the U.S. Marines, who've taken him for a couple of weeks and just show him what he's capable of. And he finds his way to climbing what they call the Trail of Tears, something 18-year-old recruits can't do, and this man is 50 years old and at least 70 pounds overweight. It'll grab your attention. I'll give you another quick example. Imagine, not too hard to imagine, unfortunately, most Americans have this experience at one stage, and many today. Imagine you're dedicated, you're great at what you do, you love your career. You've been with a company 23 years. You're one of the highest rated executives there. You're well liked. And then the downsizing comes. And all of a sudden you hear those words you never want to hear. We're so sorry, you're such an incredible person, but we're downsizing, we have to let you go. This is the experience of Ron Stegner. It gets a little worse because Ron was a fighter. He didn't give up. He tried to get jobs, no one get one. He said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna employ myself. He took his life savings, he educated himself, he invested in a franchise, he got trained. But he picked an industry in 2008 that probably couldn't be worse. Employment, recruiting for employers. And even when he was succeeded, he didn't get paid. In one of the toughest years ever that started the 8 million job meltdown that's happened around the world. What could be worse than that? Well, imagine in the midst of this, you've lost your life savings, you lost your career, you lost your income, you lost some of your identity, and now your wife thinks it's your fault and she's gonna divorce you and take the kids and your home's in foreclosure. It doesn't get more extreme. But the turnaround that this man went through will inspire and move you, and I'll give you a little clue. The turnaround had to happen in the relationship first. And the things we did are beyond imagination, and yet they're simple enough you could do them at home. Be sure to tune into that show, or if it's already happened, you can watch some of the clips and get the inside strategy. Finally, a third one, and this is one of my favorite couples. Imagine something so extreme that it will remind you that you have no problems in your life, no matter how difficult things are. Try this one on for size. Imagine you're in your mid-30s, you go to have the happiest day of your life. You go to get married, and you and your husband or wife, or boyfriend or girlfriend at that stage, I guess, fiance, go down to Mexico and bring all your family and friends. And it's gonna be the best day. And you do the nuptials, and after the I-dos, there's a tradition at that hotel that you jump in this big swimming pool and celebrate, take pictures, the whole 9 yards. Everybody jumps in and is playing, except when the groom jumps in, all of a sudden, he hits a step no one sees, he breaks his neck and becomes a quadriplegic instantly, changing everything in their life. Suddenly, survival is the question, and then after survival, I meet them a year later, stuck in their home, unable to basically leave the room. Frank is spending his life each day waking up, watching television, taking pills, watching television, taking pills so he can go to sleep and start all over. His wife is living where she knows that there can't be intimacy, there can't be any children, and she's living the roller coaster of feeling so sad and depressed and so angry. It looks like nothing can turn their life around. I promise you, if you watch the show, it's not nothing. We created a strategy. The show will show you some of the clips, how we went about it, what we did. But in the end, this is a couple that will inspire you. This is a couple that's alive today, so deeply in love, and so passionate and active, traveling around the world, doing things most people in normal life who have seemingly have all their resources would never even dream of doing. That's what this show's about. How to go from pain to power. How to go from suffering to whatever you call success, a life of meaning. To go from feeling overwhelmed to creating the extraordinary life that you really deserve. And we hope that the show will touch you and inspire you. And the purpose of this site is to say, come by each week. Quickly, we'll give you a 3-minute clip to tell you what's coming for next week. And each morning after the show, I'll be here. And I'll give you 3 things. 1, I'll give you kind of the inside story on that particular episode. How it started, what the strategy was, and some stories of things behind the scenes that couldn't make it into the show. 2, we'll give you some cool clips. Some clips that, we got 44 net minutes after those silly commercials, so, and I'm in the infomercial business, so I can't complain about commercials, but you get the picture. 44 minutes to show 30 days of changing somebody's life. Well, we're going to give you some of the clips that didn't make it. We spent 30 days with these people, and there's some magic moments. Some will make you laugh, some may make you cry, and some will show you how to change your own life in more depth. And finally, 3, I'll give you a quick 3, 4, 5-minute clip. Who knows? I get a little out of control, but I want to serve you. That shows you how to make your own breakthrough, how to use that show to change some aspect of your life. And most importantly, maybe use what you learned to help someone you care about and to pay it forward. And that's my last little request to you, and that is, if you're touched by the show, help us get this out. You know, we really want to make this as viral as possible so we can touch as many lives as humanly possible. So there's a tool here where you can share our little 2-minute promo about the show, or each week you can take any of the clips and you can send it to your friends, or you can send it to everybody on your email list, and we hope you'll do that. One click sends it all to your list. So you can send it to an individual or everybody. Please help us out if you're touched by the show and become our partner in making a difference. So I hope you enjoy the site. Oh, and one last thing, be sure there's a little spot where you can write some notes about what you think of the show or how it's touched you or how horrible it is, if that's your belief. I will read them all. So please come to the site. Please give us your feedback. Be our partner in having fun, changing your own life and touching other people. And that's it. Thanks for listening. I hope to see you here each week.